This may sound crazy.
All I need help for in my head. I cannot be sure I see the future.
Hi, my crazy cronies. This is Ashley. I'm here with Wiley Ross, and we are doing This May Sound Crazy podcast. Wiley is Austin-based muralist, painter, and artist behind some of the city's most recognizable walls. Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
And a guitar player, right?
Yeah. I play in a band.
Yeah. Serious question. Can you paint me like one of your countrymen?
Yeah. I love that you didn't say one of your French girls.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times like I've gotten that like in a DM where like it's can you paint me like one of your French girls, and I'd be like wearing this and only this is what I would respond with, which is what he says. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, and I've never painted one person that was like that. Like, so yes, absolutely. I could
just
paint
like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So it's so funny because when I asked you to do this podcast, you immediately mentioned Mandela Effect, and I've been dying to talk to someone about this. So I'm super excited. We met at one of our mutual friends' art exhibit, and one of the paintings there was from Mandela.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's its name from.
Yeah. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Do you know why it's called Mandela Effect?
Yeah.
Okay.
But people might not.
Okay. Well, it's because all these people have this memory of Nelson Mandela dying in prison, and he didn't. You know, it's a mass memory, which is weird. I always thought they were interesting, but the one that really gets me is King Tut. Mm-hmm. So if you remember what King Tut looks like his sarcophagus and everything, from what I remember, it's got the things that go down, and then it has a snake right in the middle. It's all visually balanced. And well, you try finding a picture of that, and you can't. For some reason, it has the snake, and then it has this vulture. It comes right here, and it's not even visually balanced. This is what blows my mind. Not only do I remember it the completely other way, but I've got pictures. We were at a Port Aransas at this pirate-themed restaurant, and there was this giant life-size replica of King Tut statue, and sure enough, it just had the snake. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how is that possible? That means that the guy that created it took all the time to make sure that it looked just like the original, and yet he misses this giant glaring thing. Not only him, but the person who bought it, all the people that saw it all missed this thing. And I've got that. I've got another advertisement picture for a King Tut sarcophagus, and it just has the snake. And then I have my 7th grade art project where we did this King Tut sarcophagus, and it just has the snake.
Yeah.
So how is that possible? Like, I believe in the multiverse theory, and so it has to be something to do with that. And like, because they say like if you hop timelines, there's something just slightly different, different about it, And so that one blows my mind. The risky business one was, do you know what that one is?
The sunglasses?
Yes.
He doesn't have sunglasses? Yeah. So I actually came across one recently, and I was at home like with my nieces and nephews, and we put on the movie, tell me what the name is, where the guy finds a chocolate bar.
Oh, Willy Wonka.
So you would say Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay, so I grew up with it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I went through a rabbit hole recently, and then like Reddit's, the book was called Charlie.
I wonder if it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I mean the universe gaslights the shit out of us with this. They're like, no, there was never a monocle on the Monopoly guy. You're like,
one too,
yeah. There's a ton. Actually, there's a movie on this that I watched recently. It's not that good, but it just talks about timeline hopping.
Have you heard about the whole thing with the old Nokia phones?
No, I know Snake on that one.
So like, right? Like, so or the old calculators where you could, the Texas Instrument ones. But apparently, you can take a Nokia phone that has like, it was at the very beginning of like videos on the phone and shit like that, and like, and you can hold it like in front of whatever the thing is that is in question, and it'll show you what the original was. I've seen it. I mean, granted, this is on TikTok, right? And so like. But the people that are posting these videos don't look like they have extensive knowledge in video editing. You know what I mean? And so, but sure enough, like, and I've seen on multiple ones where they take this Nokia phone, put it in front of there, and it'll go back to what it was, and then they'll take it back, and then, so, I don't know. I don't have a Nokia phone. Or an old school phone like that, but that is very interesting. I wonder, because the way I believe is that, like, it works as in like everything, you know what sacred geometry is? So like, I think that like, and when you look at the patterns exist, throughout all of our natural world, And so like the way like a lightning strikes, you know how it fractals out, and that looks just like the human nervous system,
right?
Or the veins on a tree leaf, you know. So like, I don't see why that wouldn't also bleed over into the way time works,
right?
You know, and how these, you know, whether I decide to pick these keys up or put them down, like there's an infinite number of possible ways to go, and I think they all exist upon each other. I don't know how to prove that mathematically.
No, I mean, I think that's the other thing with the Mandela effect is some people remember it some way, some people don't. And I feel like that is because we're jumping timelines so much and different ones are merging. And in their timeline at the beginning, it was a certain way and now it's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, I mean, it's definitely, a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of glitches in the matrix, you should look up like birds still in the air, like birds frozen in air. It's fucking wild. It is. Have you ever watched Slapped Ham?
No.
It's just
sounds good.
It's
though.
like it's a show that people upload videos of like creepy weird stuff, you know. But there's all these videos, and it's not just birds; it's other animals and stuff. But they'll be literally, people will be walking under, going to work and everything, and there'll be a bird that's just frozen, like in midair, nothing around it, and they'll zoom in on it, and you can see the wind going through the feathers. So it's there, and it's and it's not dead or anything like that, because then somebody will walk up like with a stick and poke it, and it's like it snaps out of it and it'll fly off. It's
like,
the weird.
It
is the weirdest thing, and like,
and
I've seen them with cats, and I don't understand. I think there's so much shit out there that we don't know about, and you know that like from, I mean, I don't even man, like anymore. I don't even know if the fucking Earth is an I don't even know anymore. Like
you won't even say it.
I don't believe we went to the moon, and like I mean, at least when we said we did, you know, we might have now, but with like the Van Allen bell, and then like not to mention like, we haven't gone back since then, and the amount of technology it took to put us on the moon back then, like we have in a cell phone, and we still and the fucking president's calling from a landline, like calling the astronauts.
Now we'll never know with AI.
Dude, give me a fucking break, like, you know. And they lost all the technology, like they don't know where it's at. It's like you can't. I mean, and you know, so I don't
back
know.
to gaslighting again.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's until I can either touch it or feel it, or I can see it anymore. That's out of there, so I don't even know. But
but that's the other thing too, is like we can only see a spectrum of light.
Absolutely.
With all of it.
Dude.
So there's so many things that exist that we can't even see like with the naked eye.
Yes, and we can only perceive the world around us with these five senses. You know, imagine even the color spectrum. Yeah, like you're saying, like imagine all the shit going on around us that we have no idea about.
Yeah.
You know, and we just get little glimpses of it, like in there. Like, have you ever seen the movie Stir of Echoes?
No, I need to write this in the list on my phone that I may or may not ever listen to or watch.
It's got Kevin Bacon in it, and, but I don't know. Do you believe in like ghosts and stuff like that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
They've been visiting me since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that.
So the first time I remember a ghost visiting was when my grandpa passed away. I woke up with a crazy fever at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
We lived in Florida. My grandpa lived in Michigan. He was like on his deathbed. And all of a sudden I woke up and the door just flew open. And I went downstairs because I had a fever and I was younger.
Yeah.
And my dad was there. My mom was in Michigan. And he was just on the phone hung up saying that my grandpa had passed away.
Oh my God.
And then when I had my best friend pass away around 18, we kind of left off. Like, she started dating a guy. I did not accept him at all. So we didn't really talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
But after she passed away, I think our last fight was about her having my jean shorts. It was so stupid.
Trivial, you know?
And she haunted me for a solid month. Doors unlocked, light bulbs blowing out. Something that she gave me would knock off the wall. Oh. And I finally, and since then it's happened a few times, and now I pay more attention to it and kind of control it, because I was like, listen, love you, I feel you, but please just come to me in my dream or daylight. That would be great.
I always think about that. Why do they pick the most scariest times? It's 3 a.m. and you wake up and they're standing over you, in the foot of your bed. I'm like, why would you communicate with me that way?
I know. So I told her, I was like, please just come in my dream. And she did. And then another time, 10 years after the fact, I was actually the person who knocked on her parents' door to tell them that she passed away. There was a boating accident, and they had tried to have a connection with me, and I kind of backed off from it. She died on Easter, and 10 years later I started getting my windows were blowing open, it broke, all this stuff was happening. And the dream that I had the first time around was like, if you ever need me, call my parents.
Yeah.
And so I told her, I was like, okay, can you just give me like a sign that I know that I'm like, okay, you're here.
Yeah.
And then I can listen. And we actually, this goes back to Florida, I guess, like branded ourselves like right here.
That's fine. I have a brand right here on my shoulder. Same thing.
Yeah. I did a fork and she did a spoon. Hers ended up looking like a moon. I effed that one up. But, and my watch vibrated and I was like, okay, you're here. And then I actually called her parents. I realized I was the one that needed the closure. They were trying to connect with me. And I was like, oh, they must think about that day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that healed it. If you go back and listen to my first podcast, my dog is with my friend who passed away now.
See, that is, so we had an evidentiary psychic come to the house and she had mentioned like that with one of our friends' cats that was really close to her. She said that she's with her aunt and her aunt keeps pointing at her and see, here's the thing, like I'm 99% skeptical until I see something like okay, wow, like, I can't, but I don't think that's most people. I don't just commit, like when they talk about like star seeds and all this shit, like I'm like that's all cool, but until I know somehow or something that I don't like commit to it, and so I was skeptical when this lady came, but I do believe in that stuff. I do believe that people like that exist. But, I also believe that it's a hell of a way to exploit people's grief or people's whatever, you can do that. And
of course, not everyone's telling the truth. Both those people
exist, But this lady came in and so I was sitting by her and she was real cool and everything. She goes, well, I guess I'll start with you. And she mentioned to me, like, I see this young man and he talks about how she thinks it was suicide and that he just wanted, and I'm thinking, I don't know who she's talking about. And he wanted to just sort of say that your art or being an artist around him, like being the way you were, inspired, even though he took his own life, but it that helped him or something. And he just wanted to say, thank you, whatever. And I was like, I don't know who she's talking about. And earlier that day or the day before that, there was this guy named Sean Glenn who it just popped into my head. And I was, for no reason, I haven't thought about this dude in years. And we weren't even that close or anything, And I was like, I wonder if it's him. And so I looked up his Facebook thing to see what was going on, and there was a benefit for suicide prevention on there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I think that was that. Yeah. I was like, I think that's that dude. And then with my friend Jody, she's talking about her aunt. She was like, she's pointing at her finger, and she's like, is there something to do with rings, or did you get a ring or something, or had to get one resized or something? And Jody's like, no, I don't think so. And I'm sitting there, I was like, Jody, your finger, like where, like, because she had me tattoo her finger with the state of Texas right here, and it was the first tattoo I've ever done. And mind you,
do you do tattoos?
No.
Oh,
the other tattoo, I gave myself a tattoo and gave myself
branding
staff.
Someone.
Dude, no, I am. If I did tattoos, the whole left side of my body would be covered in doodles. But I was like, Jody, your finger, and because she had to get it redone because it looked bad, and I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just taking it into her finger and stuff, and so she's like, oh my God, yeah. But she mentioned that her cat described it to a T, said that it was with her aunt and everything like that, and then so forth and so on. And I was like, wow, that shit is. And she said it comes on like it. She said, because she used to be a massage therapist. And
a lot of people,
dude, it just happened
from
one
your
day.
hands.
Yeah. And so like, I was always real skeptical about Reiki and all that shit like that. But I saw this podcast with Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson, where Mel Gibson and all people was talking about this Reiki dude, like actually moving him up the side of the wall with like energy and stuff. I was like, that is wild. So there's certain times I've experimented with many drugs in my day. I find some of them to be much more productive and much more positive than the other ones. One that I do find to be positive, as long as it doesn't get out of hand, is ketamine. But on ketamine, for some reason, you can feel like you'll start to see like energy, kind of like, how the way like the heat from like, a road looks like, that's kind of how it looks. And
it's
you
like
can
Donnie Darko
type shit. Have you ever heard of the telepathy tapes? Okay, so like I found that on that you can sort of put on like binaural beats or some type of
binaural beats
and drop into that
frequency
sort of state and like I've asked my mom, like, think of a place and I'll try to remote view like where she's at, and get it right, and like, and then we started doing it, just normal, like just every day, like we'll take some cards and try to guessing
I love
colors.
doing that. We should hang out more because my friends are all like, what the hell?
All like, I love that. And, and you really do start getting, it's like, I think it's like anything else, like a muscle. Like if you use
that's what they say. Intuition is a muscle.
The more refined it gets.
It's funny because you say drugs. Like I actually, with all the drugs that I've experimented with, the most that I've tapped into is my own fucking brain.
Yeah.
Like I went into psychosis actually while I was completely sober, and it was just like probably everyone's acid trip or something like that, because everything was connected. I was like being spoken to by colors and numbers and animals and sounds. It was wild.
Really?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was like 2.5 years ago.
Okay. Did you mention that it was after an accident you had?
No, but you read my chart and keep saying an accident, and I'm freaking out about that a little slightly.
No, there was, it was, because you had 23 degrees Scorpio, I think, in something, and that for some reason can be associated with
That's what you said,
accidents
and
stuff like that.
Well, I guess, my friend got into a boating accident. That was a huge turning point in my life. It was the first time that someone that close to me had passed. So, but no, this was, the incident was dealing with narcissists. And just like the brainwashing that goes into that, being an empath and overgiving. And I was just out of energy. And, they say psychotic break, I say spiritual awakening. Yeah. And both exist, and they're both true at the same time. But for me, it was really cool. The thing that sucked is coming back to this dimension and being like, wait, what? And everyone's like, oh, that's not true. And it's like, well, I predicted a lot of stuff. Yeah. I didn't understand at the time, though. And I found it out like near the end of it was like a week long, and I had two, that it was like everyone's on a different time. Yeah. So the things I was predicted have since come true. Yeah. But at the time I was like Miss Cleo. Yeah. Like calling people. The other thing that was wild during that is I could feel people doubt themselves. And I couldn't breathe. And then I could feel someone who like got up and started cleaning and raised their vibrations or left a dance class, and I could tune into them like angel number 333, angel number 222, and they would be on a certain frequency. It was wild. Yeah, man,
I know what you mean about, I've always been a pretty intuitive person, but I think more so lately for me, the way it works is it's like I'll be sitting there and I'll take all of these seemingly unrelated things, and somehow it'll be going around my brain, and then it'll just click, and I'm like, that's what it is, and I'll know, like I'll know what it is, and then I'll start noticing. Somebody could say like, well, that's just you supporting your narrative or whatever. Yeah. But a lot of this shit, like it's right, like it ends up becoming right, and I'll notice little like micro expressions or little things that people do that I'm like, and they'll just trip a sensor where I'm like, wait a second, that's something about that is off. I don't know what it is, but something about that is not right. I've always been able to feel the emotional drive behind people's actions. So like whenever
that's nice,
like when
I learned the hard way.
Well, I think that's how I like I became like hyper vigilant because of that. When somebody appears to have like, because you can kill two birds with one stone, like say that an action can,
especially when they're not moving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like can serve this purpose, but then it's like it also does this too. Or I went through an experience recently with something like that, and I don't know, like I love psychology, and being intuitive coupled with psychology, it's like you start to really develop that palette, I guess, and those people tend to not reveal themselves until further down the line, and people are going to think that you're crazy, and it's like, because you're like, well, what are you talking about?
People take their mask off eventually.
Eventually, yes, they do. And the other thing that I have to come to terms with sometimes is that I will never get that validation or that closure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something I've been dealing with recently. It's hard. Like, when you want it so bad and you're like, oh, wait, I have to give myself that. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, they're not going to give me that. Yeah. But I have picked up recently quicker. I've seen people show their true colors quicker. And now I'm like, okay, every time I lose a friend or lose something else comes in. And I'm like, oh, you can't come with me on this next level. Like, you're only supposed to teach me or push me or trigger me. And they do say in soul contracts and soul families that sometimes your biggest enemies in this life could be the most loved ones on the other side, because they're here to teach you, be a catalyst to help you for grow. Change. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is so true. And I think like with relationships, with anything, there's an expiration date. When it's served its purpose, it's like leaving some fruit out. It becomes, it grows like just like a relationship does. It becomes ripe, where that's the good times, and then it starts to decay whenever its expiration is up, and then something else comes in, and that would be associated with Pluto in astrology, where it destroys to make way for something new. Yeah. Whereas Saturn just kind of just is the endings. It kills shit off, or puts limitations, but it also rewards for hard work, which it's a motherfucker.
Have you first got into this because of astrology, like metaphysical stuff, or is it kind of just all?
No, my mom, she was always into that, and my grandfather was actually a Rosicrucianist and practiced transcendental meditation, but he was high up at the military, like in the Air Force, and so he had a completely different life there, you know, and like my mom remembers him burning like launch codes in the sink, like when she was like a little kid. He was a great man. So they started the Buffalo Toys for Tots drive in Buffalo, Missouri, and they won like the cornerstone of the community award twice. And I remember as a little kid that it was their bathroom doorstop. Like the award was. It was just this granite, like this piece of granite. and I was
cool.
like, that's super punk rock.
Yeah.
I was like, they didn't give a shit about the award. They were doing it for the right reasons, you know? And they were such caring and loving people. My mom remembers this one time where she was eating, they were sitting around and she was going through her hippie phase, and they were talking about transcendental meditation and how she was like, you just stare at the candle and block everything out. And my grandfather, like in between bites of his mashed potatoes, was like, you know, I just find it easier to lay on your back. And whenever you can see yourself looking down at yourself, then you can just go anywhere. And then continues eating like nothing happened. And my mom's like, what the fuck? And that actually happened to her when she was 16. She was super sick and she was really scared in the hospital by herself. And she said all of a sudden, and she goes, Wiley, I wasn't dreaming. I could see the light from underneath the door. And she said all of a sudden there's Poppy just standing at the foot of the bed, and he didn't say anything or anything, but this wave of like, everything's going to be okay just washed over me. And then he was just gone.
Yeah.
And we never talked about it or anything. And that's one of my main regrets, is never asking him about that shit.
Yeah. Well, you can still though, if you believe in all of this.
Oh yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Especially in dreams. Like I think it's easier to connect in that because it's already like surreal.
I wish I had better control over my dreams.
Yeah. So I've been lucid dreaming or dream journaling since I was I think 15.
Yeah.
And the way to do it is as soon as you wake up, you can even sleep next to a notepad, and just as soon as you wake up, even with your eyes closed, just write down words.
Okay.
Like not even full.
Yeah. Just
yeah. Like I'll be like orange dress, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whatever. And then you'll start remembering it, and then you can kind of wake up in the dream, be like, boom. Like I'm awake,
shit.
And then you can control it.
I've lucid dreamed a couple times.
Can you fly?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the way that I fly, it's really weird. I fly like this, like the way like a jellyfish or something goes. You know? That like I'm in water is how I fly. I've never just flown like that. I've died.
I fly like that. Like,
really? Oh man, I would love to. I died in a dream, but I was there for after the death. It was in 7th grade, and I was looking because I did a journal entry about it. But I was like a detective in Miami, and I was looking for a bomb, and I'm in this hotel room and I can't find it, and then I look over and I see, and it's on the wall, and I see it like it goes 2, 1, and then there's this bright flash, and then I look around and the place is just destroyed, but then like there's these like golden like twinkly kind of lights that kind of come down, and I just started to ascend up like that, and then I woke up, and it was wild. But the astrology thing, I think I just got into it because I was I needed, while I'm doing murals, I just needed something to
podcast to listen to type
you know?
shit.
And I started getting into it. And plus, you know, I knew I was a Scorpio, and I'd always try to tell chicks that. I was like, you know, hey, I'm a Scorpio. You know, I think they think, oh wow, you know, some shit. When really we get a really bad rap. But like
people always say I'm a Scorpio and I'm not.
Yeah.
I have like one Scorpio placement.
You're a Libra?
Yeah,
that's
Libra,
right.
Taurus, Sag.
Yeah, So,
I think it's funny because you specifically, I feel like everyone who's like going on dates ends up like, the guy ends up like texting the mom like, hey mom, what time I was booked?
Yeah.
And the mom's like, run. You know, but you're like, it's the opposite with you. You're like, give me all your information. Like,
absolutely.
let me read it.
And it's wild because there's one specific aspect that I look for in especially men's charts that is a big red flag.
Can you tell me, please?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's Mars square Neptune.
Okay.
So like Mars square Venus is tough too, because they tend to idealize the idea of love. And so they're constantly let down because they believe in like movie love, and you know, and the movie ends after 90 minutes, you know, and they sort of put love up on this pedestal, and then nothing can ever really achieve that, and so they're let down constantly. But the Mars square Neptune, at the very least, it's highly deceptive. Like people who are very, very deceptive, or can be, and towards the other end of the spectrum, it's real rapey. It's like real power,
energetically,
like a need for power. No, physically, their sexual interests, you know, can be very illegal, you know. And in every single person's chart that I've seen that has that, somehow or another, something will happen, or the person will have an experience with them or something where it's like, holy shit, you know. And that's the one main one. If you see like Mars opposition Saturn, that person, if pushed to it, can be very cruel and can play the long game, like that type of thing. Anytime you see an 8th house moon or a moon in Scorpio or something like that, 9 times out of 10, there's issues with the mother.
Did you see any red flags in my chart?
No, nothing like that. And if you see the Mars square Neptune in a woman's chart, a lot of times it's manifested through their partners. So they'll be the victim of physical violence, things like that.
Did you ever read Sextrology?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That was actually one of the books. My neighbor had it. That really, I was like, oh my God.
I definitely took it from someone.
Yeah, it was like the red book. That was, I know exactly. It's like a textbook. Yeah. The turn-ons, turn-offs. I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's really specific,
Right. Yeah.
No, I love that book. Yeah.
That's why it's like when people don't see themselves in like their reading, it's like, well, there's so much to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're just touching like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Like there's so much underneath,
It's kind of like a fingerprint, sort of,
Yeah. I was gonna. Do you do palm readings?
No, I don't. I do find that very fascinating.
I do really bad ones when I like.
Really?
No, like I'm always like, oh, you're cursed.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm like, don't really listen to me.
I do the same thing with astrology readings.
That's what you did to me. Yeah. You're like, oh, you're going to get into a car
I'll be
accident.
looking at it, I'd be like, just wear your seatbelt.
So I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And I definitely should not have been driving that night. So I was like,
I've ever
10
since.
and 2.
Have you really? That's awesome. Yeah, keep doing that. One thing that I have learned is that because I'm a little on the spectrum, so
Aren't we all?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, and so I tend to, like, when I'm into something or I'm trying to figure something out, I'll speak out loud, but I'll forget that this is a person's life.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, oh, you're
yeah. And they're like, and I don't want to freak them out because there's been plenty of times where I've seen shit.
That's why people go to school to be like certain readers or mediums.
Exactly.
They're like, there's.
There's a lot
nuance.
of power. Yeah, there's a lot of power that goes into that.
I read a little bit though. One thing I always try to like find if people are healers, there'll be like a bunch of lines under your pinky.
How's like is this mine?
Let me get this. Yeah.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, you're a healer.
Oh, badass.
And then the other one is like, this is the marriage line.
Okay.
So a lot of times you can see if someone gets divorced or not, like right under your pinky. It's the left is what you're born with and the right is the present timeline. But your lines can actually change all the time.
Yeah, I knew about the lines changing. Yeah.
And you can also see what people will do like for love too. Like mine goes right in between my index and my middle finger. And that's like, I'll almost do anything for love. But I'm also, mine's split. So it pulls down more like to my family a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they change just like anything. It's just like when you get a reading, it's like, yeah, that could be true for a second, but you also have free will.
Yeah. And the mixture of like of free will and destiny or fate. Like I believe personally in the illusion of free will.
Well, yeah, they say it's like 10% that we actually have control of, so we might switch it here. But
it's like you can pick where you want to eat, but you're gonna have to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, you're definitely gonna learn that lesson with someone else multiple times,
and you're gonna learn it harder. The more that you know, and I've definitely learned that shit. And it's
too.
I mean, what are you gonna fight the universe? It's like,
I tried.
I tried too, man. And it was
They're like, oh, let's take this away from her.
Exactly.
Let's take this away from her.
Think it's bad now? It's like, just kind of.
Yeah. The universal breadcrumbs. Well, we talked about this in the Akashic one. It's like they do a tap. And they do like a nudge, and then you get it hit by a 2x4.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because it's one of those things. And what I've learned from the universe is that it forces me to be honest in the sense that like
authentic.
Like, and any time that I've either thought I could get away with something,
karma
or shit like that, like anytime it's like, dude,
I don't fuck with karma anymore.
it will come somehow, and I'll be like, because here's the thing, there's certain people that they're just unshakable, like they're like an oak.
What you can see,
I have hurt probably many people, but I've never done it with intent to hurt. I've done it because I've hurt them because I was selfish in different ways, you know, and like, and because of that, a byproduct was that I ended up hurting them, and like, I really try very hard to hold myself to the same flame that I hold other people to. Like I loathe hypocrisy, and like, and I know that everybody can be a hypocrite at certain times, but I really focus hard on trying to be like, hey man, because character is defined by what you do when nobody else is around. And like, more than anything in my life, I want to be remembered as somebody that cared for people and that tried to do good for people and for the right reasons. You know what I mean? But I mean,
I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I get
tend
that
to give
too.
too much, but yeah, I've now with my dog on the other side, she's my spirit guide. She was like, you can help people as much as you want, but when it comes to be a fix it, you have to stop.
Yeah, yes.
Because I would easily pause my life and be
Yeah.
like, oh, let me fix your problem. Yours is so easy. I've been through that, you know?
Because it gives you that feeling of like,
Yeah.
I'm fixing something. I don't have to focus on the shit that I need to fix for myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
No, I have a hard time saying no
Yeah.
to certain things. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
because I don't want
That's
to, I don't want to
people-pleasing.
reject or disappoint people, you know?
Yeah.
And so I have a hard time doing that.
I try to have a really strict boundary. Well, I try.
Yeah.
But like, I don't talk to people on Mondays. I'm like, do not call me and like, don't take it personal. Like Mondays are like my cave days and like, that's it. But you know, something that brought up while you were talking.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Oh, because it's very.
I know you were going to say, so Goldstein is a fake name.
Oh.
I knew you were going to say that. And I think I was Jewish in my past life because it's been like a running joke.
I just meant the whole, like the Sabbath. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know. Like,
No, I know. I have made my own. I was thinking about that
That's
earlier
awesome.
today. I'm like, I don't do anything on Mondays.
I don't
It's
fucking
my
roll.
own,
It's so
it's my
Shabbos.
own religion. Yeah. But while you were talking, it brought up this like funny memory that I should probably not share, but I'm going to. When the universe like making, you know, making you do stuff and you can either go with it or you can fight it. But with me now, I'm like, okay, I'll go with it, but it's going to be on my terms type thing. So when I went into Psychosis the second time, they like just come to my house and like pick me up at this point. But so the cops came because my friends called. I did like a trauma treasure hunt. It was crazy. Like I felt everyone's pain throughout history. And
Holy
made
shit.
like little scenes around my house. Yeah, my friend was like, okay, maybe it's time. So the cops come in, this time no ambulance or anything. They're like, well, you can come with us. I was like, well, I can. I was like, but I'm not going to go unless I get the full service. And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, if I'm not getting strapped to a stretcher or handcuffed, I'm not coming. And they were like, ma'am, you don't have to do this. I was like,
But
I
do
have
it.
my stipulations, so
Yeah.
like we can go back and forth, but I'm a Taurus moon.
Yeah.
I am stubborn. And so after 10 minutes, I like finally handcuffed because I was like, cuff me, daddy. And they handcuffed me. And then we went to the cars. One of the cop patrol was 69 and the other one was like 102 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. And they're like, 102. Shut the fuck up.
That's hilarious.
But my neighbor at the time, who has since passed, he was a really awesome guide through all that, because essentially like spiritual awakening, ego death, dark night of the soul happens like either by drugs or by experience or some other way.
Yeah.
Trauma. He used to work out like underneath the carport that we shared, and so I'm getting handcuffed, and he's like, another life or another day in Ashley's life.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah. I was like, all right, Mark, I'll see you later. Yeah.
That's the name, Mark.
Yeah. But going back to the concept that life is an illusion, that you've probably never seen your neighbors unload groceries.
Yes.
Have you heard that one?
I have heard that. Like that blows my, because I have, or I
Like
have
now
it.
there's DoorDash, right? I still haven't seen that happen either.
Yeah, I guess
for
you're right
someone.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for when they give me somebody else's order, and I'm like, so somebody out there is getting DoorDash or getting favor. You know.
I had a pizza recently, and I tried to ask all my neighbors, and I was like, this
just-
seems like a gift.
I found $1 on the way in here.
Yes.
Like literally, I was like, I was like, this doesn't have fentanyl on it, does it? And I kept thinking about that, but I was like, nah, I'm still here, so I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Yeah. It's not a trap. Like it's what's the movie? I can't even think of it because the only thing is popping up. Oh, The Secret.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that in the
no,
book?
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, but yeah, they say if you're thinking about getting bills, I almost said checks because that's what I want,
There
and
you
that's
go.
what my mindset is.
Yeah.
But if you think about getting bills, you're gonna get bills. If you think about getting checks, you'll get mystery checks.
Oh,
Have you
wow.
played with that before?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start doing that.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I visualize
Yeah.
it, and I got like a $900 from California once, and I was like,
What?
yeah, I told my neighbor this too, and then she all of a sudden got a check that she had done this conference once, and it was for free, but then she got
Oh
like
my
a stipend
God.
from it
Okay.
later. Yeah, I mean sometimes it's like literally 3 cents.
Hey, shit. You know?
But you know,
I totally believe in speaking things into existence. Like,
Venmo's given me money before.
no shit.
Yeah, they gave me $100 once.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you know?
I spend it all.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the cycle. It's like
Yeah,
you know,
I say it's either Botox or ramen noodles.
yeah. There you go. You know, ramen noodles is apparently linked to like a lot of of cancer.
Yeah, it's the low vibrational part. The Botox side of my life is great. The other side, I'm like, well, here we are again.
Well, it's important for balance. So it's, really
my Libra, it's always trying. I'm the most imbalanced person ever. I'm like either on or off.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, well, there's the balance right there.
Yeah.
At one time. This is gonna sound bad, like, but as far as manifesting shit, like, back when I used to like party a lot, like I would, let's say like we were out of cigarettes or something, or like we needed $5 to get some cigarettes, or there was no more booze left, and we've been doing blow or some shit like that. So I was like, okay, we're gonna manifest it. So I'd be like, I'd think really, really hard, and I'd go through like all my stuff, and it never fucking failed. In the very last pocket of the very last jacket I checked, I found $10. And I'm like, oh my God, we can go get what we need. And I haven't used it for the power of like good yet, but or anything bigger, but I feel like I'm just working it out right now.
Yeah.
And like, but I did on the way home one time, I picked up my kid from school, and like we're driving home, and I was like, let's practice manifesting. And she's like, okay, I'm going to manifest a red cat. Cause it's something that I was like, I know that's so far out there that like if I see it, I know it's because I manifested it. And so
I say to do even crazier stuff.
Okay, yeah. And so and she's like, I want to manifest, and she said something, and then so let's just say it out loud. And so we're saying it out loud, and then like a day or so later, like a couple days later, I'm at this Christmas party thing, and somebody gives me a gift, and I look at the bag, and there's a bright red cat on it, and I'm like, holy shit! And I still have the bag, but then, like, a year or so later, I'm looking at my arm, and
you have
like
a red cat on your arm.
I have a red cat on my arm.
Funny.
that I totally, I totally,
it was the staff one.
No, that's what the staff arm.
It turned red from staff.
Yeah, right. No. And I was just like, oh my God, like that is, but
people's tattoos will give signs too all the time. Like, because over Thanksgiving last year, my niece, or actually she's my cousin, she's just like, my aunt's only 15 years older than me, but she's like, I'm not spiritual at all. Don't believe in anything after. And I realized that I can't even have a conversation because everything I say is like so spiritual that I was like trying to like tune it down and like give advice. And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. It's like, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm silenced for the first time ever. Yeah. But we said to find an octopus banana or banana octopus. And like since then, I mean, I saw it pretty quickly, but I also am in the vintage world and looking, I guess. And so there's that. But then it was just like, I saw a rocktopus, like the like rock on. Yeah. Just like people would have like a banana, like it would get so close.
It's like the universe is like, what about this one? And then like it's trying to like, it's like, check that one out. It's like, no good. Okay, well, we don't really know what a banana octopus is. So it's like,
but it's the cool. Yeah, I ended up seeing one. But yeah, the ways in between were just so fun. It's just like, why not have fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you, especially for non-believers. You kind of see like who sees it first.
Well, I've got a friend, and when I first met her, she was very not in that world, like very reserved and very skeptical about stuff. And now it's like night and day, and she just, I guess, went through some shit, and they talk about with like Kundalini awakenings and shit like that.
Yeah.
I've never had one of those, but I know a woman from one day to the next, they were like, this bitch is fucking crazy, but
hello, name of the podcast.
Yeah, dude. Once she had that and then like kind of zeroed it in or like reined it in anything, then I mean, and I believe that it's so crazy that the power that, I mean, do you know who Wim Hof is?
I don't know anyone's name.
Okay, so Wim Hof.
Movies, yes. Feelings, sure. Quotes, yeah.
Oh man, there's the Wim Hof like breathing method, and he's climbed Mount Everest in a pair of shorts, and he does all these cold plunges, but he can lower his body temperature to a certain amount, and like
that's like the monks.
Yeah, but he does it all through breathing, and so his students, and I watched this little documentary on it. Through his techniques, they had two groups. They had one student that weren't his students and then some that were, and they injected both of them with something that would give like flu-like symptoms, And so his students were able to, through breathing and through meditation, bring down their body temperature and show no signs of the flu-like symptoms, just simply through like the power of the mind over the body.
Yeah.
And that to me is fucking amazing. Yeah. Like there's this Dr. Hashimoto or some shit, like, but he had this.
I might remember that name.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He had this experiment where he would freeze water, and he would say like in the crystal, he would say the nice things to one. I was just
talking about this in my last podcast. The crystal, like the way it's either asymmetrical or
it's all
like a snowflake,
all fucked up.
Yeah,
and, and then the same way with white rice, he's saying nice things to it and mean things to it.
Right,
and it's that to me.
Or the chicken studies too.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with those.
I think they put a robot next to like the baby chickens.
Yeah.
And they're able, like the way that the robot ends up coming towards them is the way their mother would.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
It's probably better explained in a book. I'll try to find a link.
Well, is that book called "Are You My Mother"? You know, have you ever read that book?
Yeah. The robot. Yeah, that's a new one. That's a spinoff. Maybe that's a second edition in the next Mandela Effect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like,
yeah.
Because your words really do have power.
Well, that's the thing with DNA too. Like you can turn. They say you can turn genes on or off.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
well, they said that we have all
disease
that junk DNA, and I know it's not junk, but we just don't know what it is yet. But it's like all that shit that like in there.
Yeah,
you know?
But there's also studies where people think about working out, which I'm.
And they're getting all
no,
yoked?
for real. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they did two different. Yeah, one of the people were doing the exercise physically, and the other one were doing it mentally, and they both had the same results.
Oh my god! Well,
yeah, I actually need to work on that.
Dude, I'm just, yeah, especially with the holiday season coming up. You know, I should get on that mental treadmill.
I mean, yeah,
but
exactly.
But I think
yeah,
they
do a stair stepper.
They have. Do you know what sudden savant syndrome is?
Sounds like what I woke up.
Oh,
No, I'm
man.
just kidding. No.
It's like basically where people like they'll hit their head or they'll do something, and all of a sudden they can play the piano like a virtuoso, or they know French,
or they have a different different accent.
I've seen the lady that she has the Asian accent, and she's like from Brooklyn or some shit.
I think she's from England. I know. Me and my sister die over this.
I sent that to my mom because it's she goes, "Where are you from?" And she goes, "You sound like and she sounded just like that.
It's so good. I know. So, one question I like to ask people is, what do you feel like inside? And I'll just give you an example of like how I feel, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a 125-year-old shaman trapped in a porn star body with the emotional humor of a 16-year-old stoner boy.
Okay, yeah.
You could be a war veteran.
Man, I don't know. That's such a good question.
Yeah. You can think about it and come back.
No. Let me just think about it for a second here. Like that, I feel like I guess a lot of duality in the sense that sometimes I do feel old and wise, you know, and then other times I feel very childlike or innocent, like and or just unaware. Maybe I do feel like a glutton definitely when it comes to whatever I like or whatever I'm into. I tend to go 110% into it, whether it's learning an instrument or art or
it's like an addict
or pleasure. Yes,
behavior.
dude.
That's me.
Absolutely.
I'm like pointing in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would say that definitely the duality of pretty much every emotion, because I've never loved anything more than myself till I had my kid, and like. And that love, I've never known anything like it, but I've also never known the fear that comes with it, because what if something were to happen, you know? And like, and so I'm constantly at odds, I think, with myself, like, you know.
Have you seen Arrival?
No.
Oh God, it's such a good movie. But they basically talk about like the concept of time being three-dimensional.
Yeah.
But in that, God, I want to say, did the son pass away? I think the son passed away in it.
Okay.
Not to go dark immediately with your fears, but they basically found out that like all the messages that she was getting was from her past self. You know, it was just a mix of that.
They say that time's not linear.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
all
it's
around
like
us, you know?
yeah, exactly. And it was just like, would you still make the same choices knowing that?
I know.
Like her, and then so she did. She's like met the husband again and like did it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, oh my God. I just got goosebumps. See,
Me too.
I think about that stuff because I ask myself, you know, people ask like, do you have any regrets? And because I'm happy where I'm at, I'm regretful for any pain that I've caused people, but I'm not regretful for any of my choices, because if I hadn't made those choices, I might not be where I'm at today. I might not have my kiddo, you know, or something like that, you know, and then you get into the whole concept of like, what is good and bad? What is, you know, it's a matter of perception. It's like, because the sweet can never be as sweet without the bitter. You know,
exactly.
You would never be, if it was just good all the time, it would just be.
Well, that's
all
what
the
they
time.
say. Us coming back to Earth, the reincarnated, is because like the afterlife or enlightenment or whatever is so fucking boring.
Really?
That they're like, let's go back and like have a stage,
shake
have
it up
a
a little
play.
bit.
Let's be like next life, like
well, I mean,
I'll be you, you be me. Like I'll be your dad, I'll be
Well,
so,
think about all the entities that want to get in our bodies. You know, it's like something that's got to be something.
I am not open to the dark shit.
No, I'm not. No, fuck that shit. I've never made sort of Ouija board. I don't fuck around with that shit.
I have when I was younger, but I don't. Yeah.
That
No,
shit
thank you.
Fucking freaks me out. And I'm not a doctor. What if I open a door and I can't close it? And like, I don't know who I'm talking to. You know?
Going back to, you said you want to control dreams more. There's a book, I'll send it to you later, but it's Dream Gate. by Robert Moss. I actually know that one. But he talks about shaman work within dreams, and like you can get caught in dreams like Inception. So like it's the same as like when you're working on spiritual stuff, like you need to know how to ground.
Yeah.
Like in a dream, you need to know how to get back. Like people will actually go into comas if they go too deep into
it's kind of like the movie Insidious. That's what happened to the boy in the movie. He was astral projecting, and he went too far,
right?
And he couldn't find his way back, and so this thing was keeping him, like keeping him prisoner almost, and wanting to take over his body. I
think that's the other thing too, is like when you mess around with any of this, like you really need to be aware of your own shadows. Of what your shadow work is. Because it's like when people have bad trips on drugs, it's like because they're not used to seeing the darkest part of themselves. When you're talking about duality, it's the black and the white and the black, and you have to go through that to get to the other side.
Absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely. I try to be accountable. I acknowledge all the dark parts of me, but I don't let them drive the bus, so to speak. But I'm aware that I acknowledge that they're there, and I think some people, the inability to see that in themselves, it's like they almost can't handle that. It would fuck them up to be like, oh shit, I have that in me too. You know what I mean? And the shadow self, like anything in life, I believe it serves a purpose.
Totally.
But the whole astral projection thing, I've heard of, you cover yourself in white light and you imagine like a cord. Like I guess like this people on the space station or some shit. Like it's just a fucking an umbilical cord. that you're just and. But
the cord is important.
Yeah, right. You would think it would be, because how the fuck do you get back and
that's where I went to
really
that's what I went into Psychosis, because I went from like a level here to level 12, and it was funny because like the theme of the whole year and a half before that was people kept being like ground, and I had no fucking clue what that meant. Obviously they were telling me what to do, and it was coming in the future.
Are they talking about like physically grounding or like
so grounding is like the easiest way to do it is put your feet in grass.
I watched a documentary on it, and I even got the grounding sheets. Like they have sheets that are grounded, and like you can plug them in, and they like they're grounded.
Okay, yeah. I guess it's like grounding electricity, that kind of stuff. But now I have to like I'm working on with my spiritual advisor is like feeling my feet in my shoes, because I tend to float like a balloon. Obviously, I'm an air sign too, and my dog was like I was very close with her, and she would like pull me down.
Feeling your feet in your shoes.
So it's like feeling, because the thing about all of this is like living different dimensions on the same plane. So like there's third dimension, fourth, and fifth that we rotate constantly, just in general. So the third dimension is more of like the monkey mind. You're driving to work, you're worried about bills, it's fear, shame, like low vibrational, and fourth dimension is when you start seeing synchronicities. So it's like seeing the same shit, and then fifth dimension is when like all those synchronicities are clicking, and everything that is you're like instantly manifesting. Flow state.
Okay, gotcha. I've been there. Every once.
My spiritual advisor said there was 9 dimensions. I don't really know that much about that. She literally said that in one of the podcasts, like the second week.
Okay.
So, so it's funny because you can actually lose stuff in a different dimension. And I feel like if people are tricksters, like on this side, they're tricksters on the other side too. Like once I was like, I'm obsessed with Sharpie pens. Like the thin ones.
I'm
just obsessed with them. And like one time I bought like a whole pack of 20 or something. Next day, couldn't find one. And finally had to be like, all right, if this is in the fucking fourth dimension, I need my pens back. Like, please bring them to me on the fifth dimension, because I cannot be on flow state unless I have this pen. And then I swear the next day it was like I took my visor down, they were falling. Like it was just so funny.
See, I agree with that. Like my friend Fallon, she's who you should, if you're in the vintage world, you should really, I'll introduce you guys. She runs a vintage shop out of her house, and I mean, and it literally her house, it looks like it's got racks and racks of cool stuff. Like, and she's
racks.
She's also a singer-songwriter, but she's one of the sweet, her heart or whatever is one of the kindest and people that I've ever met, and really genuinely cares for people. But she's had some weird fucking experiences, like with like she'll get double of things. She had her hair curler thing, and she's only bought one. It's like that, and she goes in there in her room the other day, and she's got 2, and they are identical, and she's like, what the fuck, I didn't buy one or anything, and they're not my daughter's, and she had one with these green boots that she had one pair of them, and she sent them to this lady, and the lady's like, hey, you sent me 2 left boots. And she goes, what? And she goes, and the girl's in the picture, she's like, I'm so sorry. And so about a year later, she's going through boots and she sees like, it's like, there's 2 other ones, and they were like the strangest boots, but it was the weirdest thing. And she'll take pictures of it and document it and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it tends to happen to her. Like, she's even lost track of time. Like, she was driving on 35.
Yeah, that's what people say a lot.
And it would be like, all of a sudden she's
20
miles down the road, and she's like, what the fuck, you know? Where
yeah, so driving's a dream state too.
Really?
It was something I always used to do when I was like living at my parents' house back in the day, like because it just shut my brain off, and probably I wanted to like cry or be alone or scream or whatever. But yeah, it's a state in between like reality and not reality type thing. But
is that like when you write about you're about to go to sleep, like that type of state?
Not well, so maybe.
You know what I'm like? Where you that's
I think it's just a space in between.
Really?
Like a dream and reality.
Like
yeah.
a back room kind of, in a weird way? Like, have you ever heard of back rooms? I know that it's a made up thing, but that space where like, kind of like it's I think
like the people who live in your house.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like the Langoliers. Have you ever seen that movie? It's by Stephen King. There's these things that are the eaters of time, I guess, or worlds kind of, and we're just right ahead of them in our time, but they get stuck kind of like notched like behind it, and like food doesn't have any taste. It doesn't, all this weird shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I have to ask this because it keeps popping up in my brain. I'm gonna just say the word because I can't think of the question. But synesthesia.
Yes.
Are you?
Oh, big time. When I was a little kid,
okay,
I
figured.
I would always talk to my mom about like the different numbers that like the letter 4 has this sort of blue
so I wrote
color.
down synesthesia. It's the first thing I wrote down. I haven't even looked at this, but synesthesia. I was like, what color is the number 7? Was the question.
Number 7? It's like a golden color.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, it's like this golden color, and like it works with notes. That's how I learned how to play like piano or musical instruments. Is like A minor is always this lavender color, E minor is this phthalo blue color, and I can't read music for shit, but I can sense whenever like, okay,
can you taste it?
Yeah. Well, no, I can't like
taste something. The wind.
I can't. Yeah, I can't taste like people who have real. And I always think like, what if the word "it" tasted like shit? Like every time you heard the word "it," you'd be like, oh fuck, I can't talk to this person. Yeah. You wouldn't talk to anybody because you just tasting shit the whole time. And like, I think about that, but no, I don't have it that bad. But there's a documentary that you've got to watch. It's called "The Boy with the Beautiful Brain," and it's about this guy who he would have these seizures when he was a kid, and they think that that's what did it, but he has the world record for the most consecutive spots with over 10,000 after, so with pi, so 3.14, and then 10,000 places that he can do it, and he'll sit there and just go like this, and he does it faster than the fucking computer does. He learned the Icelandic language in a week. And the MIT tested him, they put all these electrodes to him, and they sit down.
It's because synesthesia?
Yeah, they're like, this dude's just memorizing shit. And so they asked him to make the shapes of like 1,000 different numbers. And so he makes like these shapes he sees. And then the very next day, they didn't tell him they were going to do this, but they test him again, and he makes the same exact shapes. And then so they have the pi strung out with like 6,000 places, and like 1,000 places down, they put like a 7 where an 8 should be or something. And they have electrodes to hook to him, and he's reading the number, and you see he has an actual visceral reaction whenever he gets to that point, and he's visibly like peeved because he's like, because in his mind it's this beautiful landscape, and all of a sudden there's this fucking thing that's not supposed to be there. And they're like, the people at MIT are like, we don't know how he's doing, but he seems to be telling the truth. And the other thing that's cool about this is he didn't lose any of his social skills, because a lot of times people who their brains are so like that, it's like they have no social skills. They can't do their laundry. They can't do
just
anything
like on mushrooms. It's like the one time I was like I was on my bike reading the street sign, and it was like million. My brain was like a million, and I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm like, and then I can't imagine like the frogs are loud and everything, so I can't even imagine like tasting, seeing color, like all of it just being mixed at one. I'd be like, I can't have a conversation right now.
Have you ever seen scans of people's brains when they're on like LSD or something? How it's just lit up like a fucking Christmas tree? And I don't know if you've ever taken acid, but I have not. I don't think I could. Oh man, when I took it, like I went through a big phase with that too. Like, but when I remember just don't have time for it. It is a commitment. It's like, but when I took it, I remember I was looking up at the stars, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I get it. And it was like, And that's how I explain to people, is like you're let in on the cosmic joke.
So that was me, like, sober.
Yeah. That's wild.
And so now it's like, what's the movie? It's like everything
all together all at the same time or something.
Yeah. But it's like even when
it's an Asian movie.
Yeah, it's like even when we had like hot dogs for fingers, we still learned to use our feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's like basically like what I think the universe is like. This entire thing is like an act and a play, and like in one dimension, like
absolutely,
you might have hot dogs for hands.
Have you ever done DMT?
No, but that's what I was convinced when I had my ego death, like that my brain released DMT, and that's the trick, because they were like, are you on drugs? And I was like, no, my brain released DMT.
Yeah, there's
and they're like,
nothing.
what's that? I was like, dimethyl whatever. And I like fucking said,
yeah.
But no, I mean, I know they like, I'm obsessed with learning about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
there is nothing that is like, you take acid, shrooms, all that, I don't care how much you take it. DMT is something that is a whole nother beast. At one point in time, I just loved it. Like,
isn't it fast though? Like,
yes, it only lasts maybe like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's like, but what it does is like, and you can blast off with the powder, or they have it in the form of like a vape type thing, cartridge, and those worked for me better for some reason, and that's like a microdose, and you can get.
I just realized I just do this. I'm like, tap in, my pineal gland opens, and I'm in.
Dude, it's like with this, man, it is like the laws of physics do not fucking exist there, and I mean, and you when you break through. You're someplace else in another dimension, another world, and you're seeing these beings, and everybody sees the same beings. That's why I think it's real. It's that's what
I was like thinking, like when I like Psychosis, and like when I went to like the mental health place, I'm like, they have to be seeing the same stuff.
No,
right?
just because you can't see it don't mean it ain't there.
Yeah, I talk to people who have been bipolar, and this is just like a normal Wednesday every 3 months or whatever. And I'm like, how do you know you're starting? And they're like, I always get scared first. And so like I realized in mine, like I got scared, and like you see shadow people. It's like the veil's very thin. Yeah. So like the first night's like terrifying, and then like you get into it.
All the shadow people.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's just terrifying. I'm like, I need someone there. It's just like glimmers of shadows. Like you can just see there's people everywhere.
And so I've seen.
Like they're literally shadows. They're not faces or anything like that.
It's just
and then the next day I'm like, oh, the plants are talking to me.
Yeah. Are they all malevolent? I mean, like the shadow people, are they all malevolent? Or are they indifferent to us? Or like, because you always hear about that they're usually like.
I mean, they're not even looking at me or anything like that. It's just terrifying to be surrounded by shadow people. Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience with one like any night terrors or any type of
No, because I just fly away.
Yeah.
I literally, if I'm scared of anything in my dream, I fly away. But no, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I had a dream, and when I started working on dreams, it was kind of all during this like time, right? So I was like way doing it, ungrounded again.
Yeah.
But I had a dream that I basically was on a lower dimensional plane. Everyone was like trying to take from me, saw the devil. And it was like the devil's like, if you don't stop overgiving, you're going to get sick. And I woke up and I was like, all right.
Wow.
Yeah, but I did have a lot of like during that whole time, I did have a lot of like life events stuff come in, like Hitler and Castro, and I just felt the pain of everything in the world. So it was like everything.
So like your Jesus moment, essentially. Like
So it was funny because it happened at 33.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah, the guy was like, yeah, it's just your Jesus year.
Oh
He was like not even fazed by anything I was saying, because he would just confirming. He's like, yeah, that happened.
Think about the age that, I mean, regardless of politically where you stand or anything, I mean, like, I think it was fascinating that Charlie Kirk was 33 when he died.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
33 is like my favorite numbers.
Like, and you got John, like you know, John, I think John Lennon was 36, but you've got like the 27.
369 is what I have tattooed.
Yeah, and that's Nikola Tesla, you know, talks about that, you know.
Yeah.
Which, you want to talk about an alien. That dude, he was 6'7", and he was in love with a pigeon. And like, I mean, you talk about like a fine line between genius and insanity. Is like, that dude was, you know, he would have these crazy, all of a sudden, this just image of his head, and he would create from that image, and he was free energy and all this, and he was fucking awesome. And then, but then towards the end, you know, there's a fine line. And when it started to go, he wrote himself, he goes, I love that pigeon like a man loves a woman. And he watched this pigeon that he was in love with die, like in his hand, like die. And after that, he died soon after that, you know, and he was writing letters to Mark Twain and shit. You know, Mark Twain had been dead for like, you know, 7-8 years, and like
not in this dimension.
And he just, you know, and what's fucking wild is, have you heard of Baron von Trump? It's by a book by Inglis L. Lockwood or something like that. It's fucking crazy. You want to talk about,
I like how you're like whispering.
I know, right?
You're like, there's a secret.
Like, oh my god! It's like when you talk about like time travel and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's about, if I remember correctly, it's about this boy named Baron von Trump. Okay, and it's or Baron Trump or something like that, and then his handler, whose name is Dawn. Okay, and this book came out in the 1800s. All right, and they go to a mystical world underneath through time travel and everything, like in the center of the earth or something like that. And then in the second book, or the last book, it was called Baron Trump and the Last President, where Don, and he lives on Fifth Avenue. He runs for president. He becomes the last he wins, becomes the last president, and so forth and so on. Well, the fucking crazy thing is, so when Nikola Tesla, when he died, the FBI came and they confiscated like all these cases that he had at his house or in his hotel room and everything.
Are we gonna get abducted
and
after this launches?
They do that, and like and then they have them looked over at MIT. Well, the guy who looked them over at MIT, and when they got them back, there was 2 cases missing. Was Donald Trump's uncle. And I don't even know what the fuck that means, but it is wild to think like that. That's a real thing. That just, I mean, I love shit like that. Yeah,
breadcrumbs,
dude.
for
It's
sure.
like, what the fuck? And then it's like, you know, and so that shit just.
There's not enough shows or movies on any of this.
No.
Like I'm always trying to deep dive into this. I feel like the only thing is like I shouldn't be. No, I survived.
Oh God, I used to watch that.
Yeah.
Show,
Or there's like a documentary on DMT on Netflix, or it was like a while ago, but there's really not a lot.
No, there isn't. And the thing, like
even the Mandela Effect, like, was so like not a good like film.
Well, that's what I love about TikTok. Is like, and people always like fucking dog on TikTok, but I'm like, hey man, I've learned a lot of shit from TikTok.
Honestly,
dude. I have
more than I learned in school.
No, way more. And then on TikTok, I learned that like the public school system, like that's just training you to be a work. You go on by a bell. Yeah. You're on this, and you have the same, literally the same work time as you would if you were like a factory worker or something like that. And then you find out that the Rockefeller Foundation, like, or the Rockefellers are the ones that made all the textbooks. They own, like, they started the pharmaceutical
we are all industry, in a cult.
All that shit, dude. and dude, like, I watched this one thing one time. This guy named Aaron Russo, he was the producer for this movie, well, for Trading Places and for this other movie called Mad as Hell. But he was talking to someone, and he was talking about the Rockefellers, how he was friends with one of the Rockefellers, and he got word through a lawyer of his that he wanted to meet him after he saw this movie, and he goes, and I liked him. I ended up becoming friends with him. He goes, he was smart, you know, and we ended up becoming friends. And one day I was over at his house and we were having dinner, and he said, Aaron, let me ask you something. What do you think about women's lib? And he goes, well, I think it was great. He goes, you know, women getting out, getting equal pay, like, you know, joining the workforce and everything. And he goes, you're such an idiot. And he goes, why am I an idiot? He goes, the Rockefeller Foundation, he goes, we started women's lib. And he goes, we did it for 2 reasons. The first one was to break apart the family unit so that the state is the one that's indoctrinating your child as opposed to the at home and the family. And the other reason was because before women's lib, we could only tax half the population. He goes, and then you're like, holy shit. And when you look at it like that, you're like, that is fucking diabolical. You know what I mean?
I know. And this is where, like, you go back to, like, being able to see the bad in people, like, quickly. It's so hard to see. For me, it's like I can easily see the good and bad people. Yeah. But it's harder for me to see
the bad and good people.
Bad and good people. Yeah. Wait, did I say that right?
Oh, wait, so
I can see the good in bad people more than I can see the bad in good people.
Oh, really? I'm like, I think I might be the opposite, maybe. Like,
I mean, I get tricked a lot. Yeah.
I think, well, it's probably because you're a good person yourself. So it's like,
I think
you see what's, does that make me a bad person? It's like, you know, I'm like,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been, you know, shady
I've been called a pessimist, but I like the term realist myself. I think they can be synonymous sometimes.
I need those people around me. Like, we have a safe word at the shop.
Really?
They're like, if like I start like seeing, because I can easily as a creator be like, oh my God, I see all this potential and like, what we can do and what we can work. But honestly, the shop is actually kicks people out too. So
Really?
yeah,
Well,
it's like you gotta come.
Oh, where's it at?
It's in Rosedale. Your art's in there, remember?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just.
You're
trying
already there a little bit.
Where's
Rosedale's like central Austin.
Oh,
It's
shit.
where Burnett turns into medical.
Okay.
Which yeah, I'll send another podcast of how I found the place, but it was Psychosis, and it's on Medical Parkway.
Yeah.
In between Ascension,
Oh,
and then
God,
at the end it's New Dimension.
That's
Physical
awesome.
therapy.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and it splits like a triangle, so it's just like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a super cool place.
Was it haunted?
No, so my spirit advisor told me to put like picture British guards outside the front, but that's actually for like people scare me more than like the other.
Yeah, I agree.
But no,
yeah.
I mean, I know some people like the veil's very thin for them, and like of course there's people connected to
the
like
vintage stuff. That
yeah. But I think like in my space it's kind of safe. They're like, okay, like she's going to find my piece a good home.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's cool.
Type thing versus it being just like, don't like throw me away or give me so it's like I don't know.
Did you ever watch Unsolved Mysteries?
A little bit.
It was hosted by Robert Stack, and he is like, maybe you can help solve an unsolved mystery. It's like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun. Well, I still think that's the scariest theme music ever. And one of the only, there's been a couple times in my life where I was paralyzed by fear, and like one was when I think I was like 4 or 5, and I was watching that show, and it was the opening credits, and there's just one part where this little girl turns around, her face is all burned, and I remember feeling.
I can't watch scary anything.
I remember feeling the fear shoot through my body, and like being just frozen there, you know.
Yeah.
But he talked about like the things can be attached to objects.
So
you know?
I always say we talk about threes, right? Like there's a universal law of threes where because I've had like
same in astrology too.
Yeah, but so I say if you're good you can stay, if you're bad go away, if you're good you can stay, if you're bad go away, if you're good you can stay, if you're bad go away, and like
What if I just got up and walked out of the
That's
podcast?
what I'm saying. And I was like, so sometimes I have done that. Like my dog, I know, right? Like I can't be here.
I gotta go.
I know. You're like, oh, actually I have a meeting right now. Yeah. But what was I gonna say on that? That was funny. Oh yeah. So my dog sometimes would like look over me, and like I could tell there was like something crazy there. Like she would run outside and hide her head in a couch, and I'm like, so I said it, and then it was gone. I'm like, oh, so you were bad.
Wow.
Yeah, but normally I know like.
Would you be attached to people too?
What do you mean?
Like would something? Well, let's say you've got good person or somebody that's in the middle, or that's but could something bad be attached to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and would you be able to tell that?
Not really. I mean, I think it's more like selfishly. Like I can pick up on stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm like Glinda the Good Witch.
Yeah.
But like at the shop, because the synesthesia thing I just like wrote down. It's like that kind of like intuition stuff
Oh
that
shit!
I
So
get.
that just came to you?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's fucking cool as shit. Did you write anything else down that came to you? I can.
Well,
I
the
can check
mandala stuff was already like a.
Yeah,
it's already what I wanted to talk about with
Yeah.
people. So this podcast has kind of had a mind of his own. It's like everything's like just linking when it's time.
I believe that way in art. It's like
Yeah.
I'll start with Picasso said he starts with an idea and it becomes something else.
Yeah.
And I think that like
His art looks like my brain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I you know how crafty that little dude is. Like he's one of my favorite artists. As a person, not so much, but as an artist, definitely. Like I've also learned to separate the person from their art.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Kevin Spacey movies I love. You know, I don't like the person at all, but some of the movies are fucking great. And like and so I separate that. But then again, that could be a Gemini Moon thing, being able to compartmentalize shit. But with the art thing with Picasso, everything that he bought, he would write a check for, because he knew that they wouldn't cash the check because his signature was more valuable than what he was buying. So nothing ever got taken out of his bank account. Isn't that fucking
I need
brilliant?
some trickery.
It's just so brilliant. That's
I need
like
someone who
that's
can
amazing.
like cheat the system
Oh my God,
with me.
dude.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
you
why
know.
I'm like, should we just like start a coven or something?
Hey, I've actually thought about that. I've always wanted to be. We did start like the cult of kindness, and it's just doing like nice shit for people that
I love that.
not saying anything about it, but just doing just to do nice shit, and hopefully it'll spread like good cancer like across the world, you know.
Yeah.
And so and I believe in starting like locally. I want to do this thing. I don't know how to start. We've started kind of like a nonprofit. My brain doesn't work like that, and I don't know how to go about doing that. I know how to do. I'm down to do the work, but I've been doing it. Like, so I'll wear like these mechanic outfits, and on the back it'll just say, how can I help? But like, but
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just watched 28 Days and I talked about this in the last podcast, but it's like she has to wear the sign that if I don't ask for help, help me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
and so like, but I had this idea about, you wouldn't even need a brick and mortar place to do it, but it would be like a website essentially. And how you would do it is you would go down, and I would start with the homeless, and so like, cause I identify with them to a certain degree.
Yeah, especially as an artist, you're anyone, like even like mental health, you're like one step away from being homeless at any point.
Dude, and I lived out of my van when I first moved here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know.
I gave all my money away in Psychosis.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and
like just like everyone.
Yeah,
especially homeless people. Unfortunately let a few live with me. But...
Oh, that's bad. That's awesome. Like, when it's not
I
awesome,
have
but like
more discernment now.
Yeah, because like I was like, I want to help people, but I also want to do it from the safety of my like.
That's what this is for. Like the podcast is like, I can help one person hear something that makes them feel okay, sane in the crazy.
Yes.
You know, and have like a butterfly effect.
Yes.
Especially it being like this like concept of a capsule of time where they can really check on it whenever.
Yes.
You know, and it's
absolutely.
like it's kind of like sending those vibes out when anyone needs it. Like this might pop up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Dude. And things do find people like that, and like
so you just have to ask for what you want, and we can like do whatever.
Dude, I'm taking it down. Like
I'm always making a business.
That's awesome. Like the idea, like how did it be like? You would go down there and it would be a website, and you can have it at the public library or someplace like that where it was accessible to them, and they would go and they could just sign up, and then people could get on that website and they could sponsor, they could pick one person and they could sponsor them, and they could sponsor them with whether it was money, their time, their expertise, whatever it was, and they just sponsored this one person, and you would see like going to the gym.
Adopt an adult.
Yeah, that's what it would be like. And like going to the gym, you would start to see results, and it would make you want to go even more.
Yeah.
And so you'd start to see these positive things happening in this person's life, and then maybe that person gets to where they're doing it to people, and like, and I really wanted to do something like that, and I ended up meeting the guy who started the tiny homes, like the actual guy who started it, and him and his wife, they're deeply religious, very kind people. I only met them one time, and I met them through a friend. I respect people who walk the walk. They walk their talk, so to speak. And these people, and you gotta understand, he was the CEO of, we're talking very, very well off people. They sold their house and they ended up moving into the tiny home community and lived there for 5 years in the house right next door to the people that they're helping and shit like that.
That's
and I was like, I was like, dude, that's punk rock as shit. I was like, that, I mean, I fucking, I admire. I had a coming to Jesus moment with these wasps, okay, at my house, and not white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, but with actual wasps, and and not the acronym. That is what WASP stands for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I remember the.
But I was
band.
just talking about wasps on the last podcast.
Are you serious?
I swear to fucking God.
Yeah. That's
like, why this whole thing is like, I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? Because everything I've been like kind of freaking out and need to ground myself with all of it. But anyways, wasps.
So like
the cousins of bees.
Yes, like the angry cousins of bees, and like but so I used to, and this is kind of dark, but I used to really enjoy. It sounds so fucked up, but like I used to enjoy like spraying the nests, you know, because the thing would shoot out and it had such force. I was like
serial killer vibes.
Yeah, right. And so you could stand behind like a safe glass door, and I just shoot them, and like so that's what I was doing, and like and so then all of a sudden, like, you know, I shut the glass door and they come flying. They're like, what the fuck? And they come flying towards me, and I can hear their little stingers like hitting the door, and then they just start dropping, and I was like, man, that was a lot of, you know. And I go about my business, and then the very next day they're right out there and they're fucking rebuilding right where I had killed them, and I admired their perseverance and I admired their resilience, and I was like, how the fuck can I kill something that I admire? And so I was like, so I verbally said, hey, like, I'm really sorry.
The cats and dogs from the basement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no shit. I was like, hey, I'm really sorry about you know, all the shit I did.
Just a bloody cat.
Dude. And I was like,
I was going like, dark.
I'm super sorry. I was like, if you guys are cool, I'm cool. I won't kill you anymore. And so ever since then, I've been working, like I'll work with them side by side. They've been all right around me. I've never been stung. I've never anything like that. And I've heard that shit. Like, and then me and my daughter, like maybe 2 days later, we're at the pool, and there's one sitting right here, like, and you have no, okay. I'm
trying
sitting,
to ground myself.
I'm like sitting like this, and we're sitting there, and I see the wasp, and we would go like this, and it would go like this, and I would go like this, and it would go like this, and it was like we were
like
fucking communicating. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And so from then on, I don't kill anything. I can't kill shit anymore. I can't do it. I can't kill anthills.
I
like
just
mow
name them
around
in
them.
my house.
I fucking mow around them and shit. And I'm like, God damn it, And I so desperately.
I have like a Jeff.
A Jeff?
There's like a bug that's
Dude,
in my
no.
house.
Are you fucking serious?
I swear.
Okay,
I start naming them.
Dude, no. When I lived at Harper's Creek, this is years ago. There was a cricket, and I called him. What was his name? It was Rodney or something like that. And it was Rodney because when I get in the shower, there'd be this cricket, and I go Rodney. Like I remember saying that,
Yeah.
and he would just sit there frozen, because like what the fuck is this thing gonna kill me? And slowly but surely, like next week, there's Jumpin' Jack Flash's buddy, and then before you knew it, I had like a whole. It was like I was camping outdoors. Like they would strike up the band, and you'd hear all these crickets. I tell my mom about it, and so I go up to visit her, and on the way back she goes, "Hey, by the way, I took care of your infest problem." I was
After this podcast, we need the full service.
Oh fuck yeah, dude, absolutely. She goes, "Took care of your infest problem." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, the bugs at your place." I was like, "Oh no!" And I walked back into my place. She got it fumigated. And it was just like little like Vietnam for bugs. And I was like, Rodney, like checking them out, and like, but I was like, oh my God, but I can't kill anything. Like it's like, and I'm like, God damn it, I mean, I can
kill a cockroach.
Because
they're like, they can't die usually.
It depends on the mood I'm in, but
they actually usually they are usually dead when I find them.
They play dead. Like cockroaches actually play dead. I know this for a fact because not only from personal experience, but from the fact that I was watching. No, Rodney was a cricket. It was like cockroaches. It's so wild too because those things are aware and conscious. Like that video of that cat that is barking but his owner, you hear this dog, what sounds like a dog barking, and then the owner has a video camera and he makes a sound and the cat's going arr, arr, like that, and then he turns around and he sees the owner and he goes arr, rah, rah, rah. And you're like,
that's what I'm saying when I say
caught,
like,
and you were able to fucking understand that concept.
Yeah, theory of mind.
That's wild. That's like, how can you kill something?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like a cat like living like a dog inside. When I was asking like, what do you feel like inside?
Oh yeah,
like,
I love that cat that identifies as a dog.
Yeah. You're like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, no, that's
meow.
Have you seen those? Because I send my mom all these cat videos, and like, but there's videos of cats that are raised by dogs, and and there's this one video of this little like tabby that is raised by these pit bulls, and even the way it stands is like this, and it looks like it's mixtapes about to drop,
nurture.
And the way like he walks and he goes like, and you're like, oh my God, dude, that's so wild. It is. It's I mean, you can and I think it is as far as nature versus nurture. There's
Both
a documentary you should see called Identical or
the twins
triplets.
Yeah.
But they're
Oh, I've seen it.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And
the twin studies. Yeah.
Dude.
We talked about this on one of the podcasts too, because my dad donated sperm, and I have a bunch of sperm siblings.
Really?
But she was asking like, "Oh, do you have a twin?" And I was like, "No, I think I'm too
No
old.
shit.
I'm too young or old, whatever. I don't know." But yeah, so I'm like, dude, because you don't know if you have a twin out there sometimes with all the shit that went down then.
Dude, man. Yeah. That's
or like the guy that like used to switch the sperm. You've seen that one, like the 1,000 kids.
Oh yeah.
And they all have like some kind of disorder, like
It's not a birth defect or something?
No, it's not that, but what's the one that like
autism?
No, I can't think of it right now. It'll come like later in the car. I'll be like,
autoimmune.
Oh yeah, okay,
they all
have an autoimmune. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
That was quicker than I thought I was gonna go.
It's wild as far as with different ethnicities or whatever like that. The Aboriginals, like they participate in this dream state thing where they're all dreaming but they're all experiencing the same dream, and they call it dream time or something. They're also like they're through evolution, their stomachs, how they descend out. It's because when they come across food, they eat it all at that same time because they don't know when the next time they'll come across food. So it's almost the way a camel stores like water, and so their stomachs will sit and they sleep with their sleep up like this because bugs will crawl in their fucking ear if they don't.
Jeff.
And yeah, dude. And then they also they're able to survive on droplets of water, and they'll shave a root and then get to this little water and then walk miles and miles in the fucking desert, and it's all through like evolution, just doing this, I mean, and you think about like the way that
I get hangry after 30 minutes.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God.
I'm starting to get hungry now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that But conditioning, it's look like it's the way like have you ever seen those pictures of things that have been worn down over time, and like there'll be like people standing in the same spot over time, and like the marble floor is like dented down.
Or like when you're hiking and the tree's soft in one area because everyone touches it.
Yeah. Speaking of trees and plants, have you ever heard about the dude that created the lie detector test? And he started hooking them up to like his ficus plants and shit like that. What he discovered was that there was evidence to show that plants are conscious, and that they could, that
totally.
they, even the mere thought of something like that, the needles would spike. And like, and he did tests to do it. And he also said that that apparently plants communicate with like a series of clicks, but it's at a much higher than we can hear, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, when you mow your lawn, that smell of the mowed lawn, that's a fucking
chemical reaction.
Yeah, that's them being like, help me. Yeah.
I know.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I got
It's such a good smell. That's where everything, it's like not everything is bad as good, not everything. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
yeah.
But it's also fucked up. It's
It
like
is fucked up.
bittersweet.
Yeah,
You're like,
it is fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'll be in the backyard, like, and I'll be sitting there, and
You're
I'll
like,
my
not
tree.
that's the thing. The more connected you are to stuff, like the sadder it is.
It
like,
is, yeah, because and then you start to realize that death is inevitable, and it's a fact of life. Which
Right.
The irony, I love the universe sense of humor. It's dark. It's dark. It's
they're
dark sense
so
of humor.
dark and
it's very
funny.
dark. You know,
I know.
It's clever too, though, and there's a lot of irony in it. And like, but I'll sit there and be like, if you can hear me, just touch my hand. I've got 2 birds' nests literally on my back porch, and then one on my front porch in the light fixture, and they're the same group, they're the same family of birds, and they come back every year, and and I've seen 2 broods of mourning doves that have the same doves in this one nest, and I'll sit there, but with the wrens and the doves, I would sit out there and I'm gonna try to fucking communicate with these fucking birds. So I'm sitting out there and I'm just have my arm up like this, being like, like that. I'm trying to make these sounds, and I know to my neighbors that they're like, "What? He's an artist," and they're like, "Oh, he's an artist. Okay, it's fine."
Listen,
but I know they're like,
if you get
"That dude's
handcuffed at
fucking
mid-daylight,
crazy,
they're
dude."
all like,
and they're like, it's
just
probably
leave
part of his-
Ashley alone. She's a good crazy.
Probably part of his art, you know. And like, there's so much shit you get away with in life by being an artist. People are like if I was an accountant and my place looked the way it did, they'd be like, Wiley, I was obviously losing touch with reality. But they're like, oh, he's an artist. I'm like, oh, that's what the dead body's in the fridge. That is for art, you know. You know, but I would sit there and be like, and like almost I got a couple of the mourning doves, because I had a better relationship with them, to come and land on my fucking finger. The wrens, they were kept flying at me, and I was like, look, Mom, I was like, they really like me, and sure enough,
we're gonna have to
wrap it up. Cool. And
it was about to be 333 too. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but anyways, they were dive bombing me. I thought they were coming at me to land on me, and my mom was like, "No, they don't like you. They're trying to get you to move." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, the wrens are kind of assholes."
Hey, we're not supposed to get along with all types of people, animal. Like, we all have our thing, right?
Yeah, the morning doves were cool though.
Well, I'm super glad we talked about your art and your process, and how people like know who the fuck you are. But anyways, I'm sure you'll be a returning guest on the pod.
Just go to WileyRoss.com.
You'll find him. That's it.
Oh man, no, this is a blast. Yeah, I had a great time.
I have one question, and we'll end it with that. But fuck, marry, kill, past lives, alternate timelines, and spirit guides.
Oh my god. Okay, I think spirit guides probably, because we would have a connection, know what I was into. Maybe
what, Mary?
No, that would be the.
You'd fuck the spirit guides.
Yeah, I think so. As an alternate was, I think I've already married the.
You married the alternate, and then you killed the past lives.
Yeah, because I was. Yeah,
that was.
I figured that's like the way it goes naturally.
Too.
Okay, yeah. That's a good question. Yeah.
I don't know why it just came to me, but I was like, I don't know.
No pun intended.
If silence happens, I'm just gonna say this. Yeah. It's not weird at all. Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, crazy cronies, for listening. I have no idea what's coming next, but just follow, tune in, subscribe, like, all that stuff, and come to the shop.
Yeah, this is.
And go visit the Willie Nelson.
Yeah, there you go. It's the biggest Willie in Austin.
All right. Bye.
Bye.